Well, first of all, I've talked with Mayor Ginther over the last week about that decision. I applaud the decision. I think it's the right decision. We'll have additional discussion about this on Thursday about bars. So nothing today, but we'll come back on that. Look, let's talk about sports, and let me just talk about it, if I could, in the context of schools in general. We are all in a difficult period. We're living in a period of time when we don't know what the future is. We will in fact determine the future by what collectively we do. We've got mixed numbers. As I indicated, we have some of the early warning signs look better, look pretty good. We hope those continue. The number of people with COVID who are showing up in emergency rooms. We are seeing, particularly in the red counties that have been red the longest, significant increase in the use of masks. That is a very, very positive thing. On the negative side, we're not going down yet in cases, certainly. We've got high number of cases. Our positivity number is been fairly steady. We hope we've hit a plateau. We hope it starts going down. So a lot of mixed things as we look at this. So we have schools, we have superintendents, we have school boards, we have parents who are trying to figure out what's this world going to look like in 4 weeks, 3 weeks when we start back to school. And no one can tell them. I can't tell them. No one can tell them. So they're having to make difficult decisions. We've got young people who are going to be doing something this summer. And, it's a balance and a decision that parents make, whether or not being involved in some organized sports is a better use of their time and maybe safer or more dangerous, depending on how the parent looks at it, than what else that child would be doing during that period of time. So I hope that if we pull together as Ohioans over the next 2, 3, 4 weeks, we can remove some of this ambiguity, we can remove some of this uncertainty, and we can start getting a pathway. And the pathway needs to be going down in cases, and we need to see that. And we need to see it all over the state of Ohio. We need to see it in your school district. We need to see the positivity number start to go down. That's what we need to do. We can do this, but we got to pull together and work together. So my only point, Kevin, is parents are making tough choices. And these choices are only going to get more difficult if we don't get control of this virus. So let's get control of this virus.
Good afternoon, Noah Blunda with Hannah News Service. Governor, today Columbus City Schools said it will start its school year virtually for the first 9 weeks. The Ohio Education Association just said they would like that to be the case for any purple or red county school building. Do you think those are wise decisions? And what are you going to be looking for to determine whether you would take action to send children back to all remote learning as you did in the fall?
Well, that's a very good question. The answer I just gave is probably the best answer I can give, and that simply is that if we do what we need to do, we can start these numbers going in the right direction. We are at a crucial time. And these are tough decisions. Look, we got grandkids who live 5 miles from each other in one school, and the schools are about the same size. In one school, the decision was made for the first, what they describe as the first quarter, totally remote. The other school made the decision basically that you can be remote if you want to, but the norm is going to be back in school full time. I don't think any of us, frankly, have enough information at this point to know which one of those decisions is the right decision or the wrong decision. What we have done in regard to schools, we have a long, long history of schools making up their own decisions. We even let schools in this state decide when they start school. We let them decide all kinds of different things. And that's because we have such 600 and some school districts, very, very diverse, different situations, different kids, different parents, different cultures. And so we historically do that. Now, we've given them some very significant guidance, and we may add to some of that guidance on Thursday. But we've given them some guidance. But we've let that difficult decision about how they start back in or when they start back in up to them. If we get to the point where there's a clear answer and it's clear which way we should go, I think we've got kids in danger. If I see kids in danger in this state, and I know they're in danger, we will take action. But at this point, no one can say that one school district is making a wrong decision and the other school district is making a right decision. I think it's these are very tough and difficult decisions. The good thing that the schools are doing is that they all have looked at this as we need alternatives, and they are giving parents choices. So those are two very, very positive things that the schools are doing. But we could intervene, I may intervene, but certainly there's not enough data yet to make any kind of call like that. We're not in that position to do it or to judge and say that's wrong, that's right.